Grade, the story of puppets portraying the mingling and migration of the animals and peoples of southeastern Arkansas. All our ancestors migrated so far, some brought us inside them to southeast Arkansas, some followed the big game, some were looking for gold, some buying this land, some just doing as they's told. All our tomorrows depend on today. Our future is built on what we do and say, what we do with each other, what we say to ourselves. This is the promise our way of life tells. Some of us came pioneers on our own, and we chose Drew County to make this our home, and all of our children will come to decide to stay in Drew County or take the long ride. All our tomorrows depend on today. Our future is built on what we do and say, what we do with each other, what we say to ourselves. This is the promise our way of life tells. This is the promise.
The whole idea for this project came about after seeing a video of this incredible theater company. It's a puppet mask making sort of community-based organization out of Minneapolis, St. Paul. And they had a video that a friend of mine had brought over that she had just gotten in the mail, she'd ordered, and she was actually from Minneapolis. And we plugged it in the TV, and I just flipped out and thought, oh my God, this is what we need to do for Rough and Ready Days, which is, you know, our little annual festival here in Monticello. And so it was from seeing that and realizing that, oh, how great we could do a parade that wasn't just a parade, it was actually a performance, and it told a story.
We're going to tell a story. Well, we need the characters. And the first character, the oldest character, is the water in these parts. About 1 million years ago, this place was covered. The Boys and Girls Club of Drew County became the water, and the creatures, the fish, the alligators, the turtles, the birds. Then the Native Americans appeared. Did they migrate here? Did they evolve here? We don't know. But we know the Scouts became our Tunica tribe, along with some elementary students from City Park. Anita Mims worked with those children who became our tattooed Tunicans. The first European to appear was Hernando de Soto, who came through with his conquistadors and war dogs and horses and hogs. The 4-H became our conquistadors and these creatures. 500 years passed, and then other Europeans came. We used Peter Reeves, the first surveyor, and Hannah Hyatt, the woman who started the first orphanage in Arkansas, right here in Drew County. The Scouts became their entourage. They became the domestic animals, the horses and the mules. We had riverboats, locomotives, and also the African Americans came in. Wiley Trotter, a black veterinarian, became one of our giant puppets, and Sadie Johnson, a black educator, became the other featured character for our African Americans. The YPTA, the Young People Thinking Ahead group, became our African Americans, as well as the armadillo migrated in at this point, and our last real migrant in were the fire ants. So we had all of these walks of life, all of these ways to walk. And our disabled adults in the community from the other way reenacted the Center Point tornado, which was the biggest tragedy that Drew County has ever seen. And we had a finale at the end when the trees from the Native Americans, the Europeans, and the African Americans all came together to unite to form what this community is today. We had Mary Ramsey's dancers who bound the trees together in a maypole sort of celebration. And the music was provided by our tree binding troubadours, which were musicians from Monticello Junior High, who played as all three trees came together at the end in the finale of the parade and the performance. Okay, this class started in January, and we started researching this thing. We had sort of the general vision of there were going to be these historical characters, they were going to be large puppets. And so we started looking at who are these large puppets going to be. And we found the Drew County Historical Journal to be a great source. The people that we used in this were stories had been written about them and already published. And so that was our main source. We did a few interviews with people to get some more material, but mostly we used what other historians had used. But then we made it more storytelling, but all the facts in the story being based on things that had already been authenticated. And so we didn't have to worry about that too much. The word went out to Monticello and Drew County. Students from UAM contacted the civic groups to raise money or help with the People's Parade and performance. We also contacted the local youth groups, the Scouts, the YPTA, the Boys and Girls Club, to be in the parade and create the costumes and characters. We asked for a hand and we got it.
Coca-Cola donated to us a wonderful warehouse space that we turned into the People's Parade Puppet Shop, and we moved in and were able to conduct free workshops there to the public, and all of these youth groups came to us to work in this space. We spruced it up with banners that we had created last year for Rough and Ready that the Other Way clients designed and Chandi sewed up. This is Rough and Ready Days, the People's Parade Puppet Workshop beginning, and we are advertising. Mars is up there doing it. Lee is the most important person of all at this moment, and we're just going to have so much fun, and we're not going to die for art.
There you go, Cat.
And we brought life to the warehouse, starting with putting up the storyboard that told the story of the parade and helped everyone know where they were going to be and what they were going to do. And then the recyclables started coming in. And we got everything from sheets and foam and styrofoam and jugs and cans and cardboard and all kinds of wonderful things that we were then transforming into our costumes, into the small masks, and then into the much larger masks that became the puppets, which were primarily made of the boxes that we got from the industries in the area. And they were made with cardboard, foam, duct tape, staples, and it was great.
Wore my whole life.
You say you've never paper mache?
I'm in an airplane in about the fourth grade.
You've never paper mache, Art?
Yeah.
Friday night was Make Art Not Trouble night, and that was a really cool night where we opened the doors to the general public to come in and help get work done that was absolutely impossible to do during the week because of all the wildness with the millions of kids running around working on their things. So the big mass that I had created, you know, just with the cardboard and the duct tape and the staples and stuff, all needed to be paper mache'd. And so it was on these Friday nights that adults primarily came in. And primarily our adults were from the Creative Society, which is this wonderful group from the University of Arkansas at Monticello. And it's a campus organization that promotes creativity. And Mars is the original faculty advisor for that group, and they were really crucial for coming in to helping to tie the loose ends together and get those masks paper mache'd. And the other way were also very important components to these big masks too, because they did a lot of work with me on the structure in the back, and they were great. When we were finally done with all the paper mache goo, the pieces were brought home to Rising Oaks, our studio and the home of Art Ventures International, and there I painted them with my little homemade spray rigger because I wanted to keep the weight down. I was very concerned that if I allowed the kids to do it, they would get so heavy. I mean, they could be 5 pounds of paint on there. So they were painted with wonderful paint, mismixed paint that businesses within our community had donated.
Doing the hand jive on TV. Hand jive, hand jive, hand jive. Doing that crazy hand jive. Hey, hey, hey.
We found the plastic pipe at the Drew County dump, and we ended up using it for several different purposes. One was to support the hands when they are up in the air, and the other is for the shoulder piece, which fits on the 2x4 that holds the giant head for the puppet. And the shoulder piece is crucial because it also holds the costume in place. The costumes were primarily made out of donated sheets, which were mostly all white. And in this case, we decorated sheets with handprints. This will become the dress of Sadie Johnson, who was a school teacher. And so we decorated the sheets. Most of the children who were involved in this project had their handprints on one of these sheets, which were to become the finished costume for Sadie.
Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. No, the skies are not cloudy all day.
Look, the alligator's eating you. Okay, wait, turn.
Push this down right here.
Where it doesn't now. That was helping to hold your eyes right. Can you still see good?
sweet sensation when life is a celebration. Oh, what a sweet sensation. Sweet sensation. Oh, what a sweet sensation when life is a celebration. Oh, what a sweet sensation. Oh, what a sweet sensation when life is a celebration. Oh, what a sweet sensation. Oh, what a sweet sensation when life is a celebration. Oh, what a sweet sensation. Oh, what a sweet sensation when life is a celebration. Oh, what a sweet
Will you wear white, oh my dear, oh my dear? Will you wear white, Jenny Jenkins?
No, I won't wear white, for the color's too bright. I'll buy me a foldy, roly, tilly, tolly, seek a double, use it, cause a roll to find me. Roll, Jenny Jenkins, roll. Will you wear green, oh my dear, oh my dear? Will you wear green, Jenny Jenkins? No, I won't wear green, it's a shame to be seen. I'll buy me a foldy, roly, tilly, tolly, seek a double, use it, cause a roll to find me. Roll, Jenny Jenkins, roll. Will you wear blue, oh my dear, oh my dear? Will you wear blue, Jenny Jenkins? No, I won't wear blue, for the color's too true. I'll buy me a foldy, roly, tilly, tolly, seek a double, use it, cause a roll to find me. Roll, Jenny Jenkins, roll. Yellow, oh my dear, oh my dear. Will you wear yellow, Jenny Jenkins? No, I won't wear yellow, for I'd never get a fellow. I buy me a foldy, roly, tilly, tolly, seek a double, use a cause a roll to find me. Roll, Jenny Jenkins, roll. Will you wear brown, oh my dear, oh my dear? Will you wear brown, Jenny Jenkins? No, I won't wear brown, for I'd never get around. I'll buy me a foldy, roly, tilly, tolly, seek a double, use it, cause you roll to find me. Roll, Jenny Jenkins, roll. Will you wear beige, oh my dear, oh my dear? Will you wear beige, Jenny Jenkins? No, I won't wear beige, for it shows my age. I'll buy me a foldy, roly, tilly, tolly, seek a double, use it, cause you roll to find me. Roll, Jenny Jenkins, roll.
Jenny Jenkins.
No orange I won't wear, and it rhymes so there. I'll buy me a folder roll till the tallest secret double use a cozy roll to find me. Roll, Jenny Jenkins, roll.
What will you wear, oh my dear, oh my dear? What will you wear, Jenny Jenkins?
Oh, what do you care if I just go bare?
I'll buy me a folder roll till the tallest secret double use a cozy roll to find me. Roll, Jenny Jenkins, roll.
The art table was a wonderful creative solution to too many children and not knowing quite how to handle them all. So we realized quickly that we needed to occupy little hands, and it was also a way to utilize some of the adults which didn't feel quite as creative, which were there to help supervise the kids. And at the table we created the luminaries, the rough and ready buttons, and the good energy shakers. And to make those, the kids did little drawings that were then taped on to the outside of aluminum cans that were filled with rice, and they became our good energy rhythm throughout the parade.
As a practical application of the university course Art for Elementary Teachers, a group of my students from UAM went to W.C. Whaley to work with all the Monticello first graders. After they discussed concepts of community and unity with the first graders, they then created images for the energy shakers, flowers for the community unity tree, buttons and luminaries which were placed in the pavilion at the Rough and Ready Festival. The fire ant costumes were then created with a group of 40 kindergartners who then became the performers in the parade.
We were very fortunate in that we were able to hire 3 other artists through the Arkansas Arts Council, through the Artists in Education program and the Arts on Tour program. And we started out getting Zinzi, who is an African based out of Little Rock, and we got him with the Artists in Education grant, and he's a storyteller and drummer. And he came to work with a core group of kids at City Park Elementary School. And they really became sort of the heartbeat of our parade, where they were doing talking drums and added great excitement and rhythm to the whole parade. Then we had Anita Mims, also through the Arts Council, who came in full Indian regalia, and she is a Native American who comes to schools and talks about the stories and the traditions of the Indians. And she worked again with the core group from City Park, and they created costumes and were a colorful addition to the parade. With yet another Arts on Tour grant, we secured Toucan Jam, which is a wonderful musical group composed of Kelly on banjo and Donna on fiddle. And they play a lot of traditional European folk music, so they were perfect to be a part of the European American parade. And they started out by going to City Park and doing a program for the entire school. And then the kids that were actually in the parade were very excited to see Toucan Jam leading that section of the parade with their wonderful, exciting, lively music that really added a great twist to the parade.
It was an exciting and windy day. The first time Hannah stood in her full costume, it was wonderful. But the wind factor made us realize that no one could carry the puppets down the street safely. So we came up with the idea to attach them to shopping carts and roll them down through Monticello.
The Migration Mobile was a community unity project supreme where we traced over 50 people of all ages. We traced their legs, and then they colored the legs in, and they were decoupaged onto these giant wheels, which we had planned on having an axle, and it was going to be beautiful, and the kids would be able to roll it down the street, but it didn't quite work out that way. And in rehearsal, we quickly decided that we should just use them individually and sort of spin them down the street.
And now, like I said,
Street. 4:30 on Friday. Right. But when it's going to be over, we've never ever taken this truck with this many people and know how long it's going to take for all this to actually happen.
We're going to be in the truck.
No, trucking. Doesn't mean Yeah. We'll have actual. Okay.
Alex, 2 days before the parade, are we ready?
To go crazy. Already going crazy, as a matter of fact. Here we are in the grounds of the Drew County Historical Museum, and it's the day of the parade. All the puppets are going up in the air. They're being attached to the shopping carts. And in this case, with Hernando de Soto, the costume was designed to be held much higher in the air. So when he got on his shopping cart, we had to cut off the bottom of his costume.
A million years has happened since what was up there before what's coming. Oh, here are those green conquistadors. We're going to go back in time, back after the ages of ice, when people from Asia walked across the land bridge to North America. They were following the herds of big game, and it took generations to walk from Alaska to Arkansas. This stadium stands on what was then the seabed of the Gulf of Mexico. That embayment stretched from Arkadelphia to Alabama and north to the mouth of the Ohio River. And even our little belt of mountain on which Monticello stands was well underwater, with schools of ocean perch and solitary sharks swimming where we drive and shop. Of course. Now let's get the Placum and those Native Americans on down here. Now these people had lots of tattoos. They believed that the sun was a female, a sun goddess.
Wow! You anthropologists teach that my poor family walks here from Asia. Many people say we came from Earth, like the frog in the stream, reborn with the buds, green leaves, and flowers.
Hernando de Soto rode into these parts after years on the trail, but he still had 300 conquistadors, almost 100 horses, a pack of war dogs, and a drove of hogs. These Tunicans had never seen the likes of de Soto, or metal armor, or horses, or hogs, or metal swords and spear tips. Thomas Jefferson and the United States of America had bought all this land from the French for 4 cents an acre in the Louisiana Purchase. And I want to introduce you to a man who came from Virginia, Peter Reed. And he came and built the first cabin and the first crude sawmill in Drew County. Mr. Reed.
Well, I am a surveyor. Came here in 1818. And many a times when the mosquitoes come to Bayou Bartholomew, I sung taking it back to old Virginia. Now there were still a few buffalo here when I came. Well, there was a buffalo wallet nearly as big as those grandstands you're sitting in. Buffalo were the road crew back then. Now my job was to survey this land. Walking down Main Street today made me proud and grateful that thanks to you, this county is on the rise again.
And Monticello did grow. Yeah, let's give these pioneers a hand, for sure, as they drift back to their homes. And just north of Court Square, on a farm of 80 acres, Miss Hannah Hyatt was born. Now, she was the last child of 8 and was the sister who stayed home and took care of her aging parents. And when they died, they left Hannah the place.
In July 1895, I deeded my home place to the Baptist Convention on condition that it forever after remain a children's home.
Yeah, and that home is still running, Miss Hannah. Yeah, let's give Miss Hannah a big hand. A big hand. Okay, now I want to introduce you to a man who was born right here. You guys ready? Born right here in the year of the Big Snow, right, in the 1870s, who helped the people and animals of Drew County. And he celebrated his 100th birthday here and a score more. Now, he got his license in Canada and practiced veterinary medicine here for 75 years. I want to introduce to you Dr. Wiley Trotter.
The early days of integration, when people ask my views, I say, we are all children of the same Creator and can accomplish more working together. And I still say that.
All right, let's give Dr. Wiley Trotter a big hand here. Yeah. Yeah, this is another great lady of our community. Chosen by the Arkansas Press Women in 1980 for inclusion in Horizon's 100 Arkansas Women of Achievement. And 5 years later, she was Monticello's Woman of the Year in 1985, Miss Sadie Thomason Johnson, who has a street and a park in Monticello named after her.
And I always encourage students and teachers to do their best in any situation. We're going into life, and every situation requires that we do our best. I taught the power of voting, the respect of others, and the values of democracy. I remember my father back when I was a child. He'd drag an ember out of the fire and he'd say, "Watch that lonely ember go out. But look at those embers together in a bed of coals. They are still glowing and warming us all."
Yeah, let's give Miss Sadie a big hand. On Sunday, April 16, 1936, the community of Center Point, just southwest of Pimento, was observing the last rites for J.W. Best, a local farmer, and Edward Phillips, 18 years old at the time, was an eyewitness. I was standing just inside the church door watching when that twister began to whip the trees right out of the ground. I slammed the door and yelled for help to hold it. I glanced over my shoulder and everyone else was bunched up against the far wall, and then all the walls were ripped away. I tried to dive under a bench but was propelled through the air and landed about 35 yards from the church. When I looked up, our church was gone. Usually we're lucky here. And about the worst thing that you can happen to you in Drew County these days is, and I see him right over there at the end of the line, is stepping on a hill of fire ants. Ooh, ooh, ow, ooh, ow, ooh, 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 those fire ants, they get us moving. They get us moving, those fire ants too. Woo, 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 woo. Oh, those fire ants, right. Okay, and now with the help of the community unity tree binding traveling troubadours from Monticello Junior High, all of our citizens are going to gather around the community unity tree and do the community unity dance. Wonderful. And there are two individual women that we have to thank, that we want to bring down here, who the children were constantly calling. Miss Alice, come on down here. Let's give Miss Alice Duffy Miller a big hand. And she designed these puppets. She helped the kids with their costumes. Boundless energy, I know. She has wonderful energy. And Miss Chandrika Taylor. Come on down here, Shandy. Let's give Chandrika Taylor a big hand. She designed these costumes. She has cooked us food for the project. She has boundless energy. She helped these children when no one else would help them.
Fred Sandricka Taylor. Well, thank you very much, and I hope that this is a good kickoff to the best Rough and Ready ever.
Gonna build me a log cabin on a mountain so high, so I can see Willie every time he goes by. Well, the cuckoo, she's a pretty bird. Well, I wish she was mine. She never drank water. She'd always drink wine. Jack of diamonds, well, I know you love home. You rob my board pockets of the silver and gold. Well, I play cards in England, when I play cards in Spain, when I bet you $5, then I'll beat you next game. Well, the cuckoo, she's a pretty bird. Well, I wish she was mine. She never drank water. She'd always drink wine. Well, the cuckoo, she's a pretty bird. She warbles as she flies. She never polished cuckoo till the 4th day.